back to TubeTalk.
Welcome back to you too, Doug. A very special Tube Talk.
Yes, loads of special TubeTalks coming.
And because the old bull here, clearly his bet of the week down the tubes, you are the champion.
Second place.
And you also said you liked Stardome, and he won, which we'll talk about. So we're going to have a very special section of Tube Talk this week, aren't we? We won't tell people about it, we'll leave it as a surprise for the end of the video.
Okay, so let's get started with last week with Stardome with a fantastic win.
Yeah, as we said, super win, stepping up from 1600 to 2200 metres. It's always a big jump, and that was the concern, that we wanted to find a 2000 metre race but couldn't. And as it was, he got trapped 3 wide earlier around the big bend in the open, and then he got over, won off, travelled beautifully, got a little bit of cover, and he was actually at his strongest last 100 metres. He came over the top and was really strong, so it was a really good win, and he looks like he's going to go further. 2400 metres won't be a problem. It's a beautiful race from next Saturday. Exactly the same rating, $65,000. He'll go up about 2 kilos in weight, but really hard to beat again next week.
We're very proud of him, aren't we?
We are very proud of him. He's come back. He looks in for a really good prep.
Yeah. And also from last week, we had a super fourth from Madison.
Yeah, a horse on his very first preparation, and he stepped up. He's won his maiden by 8 lengths and went to an open 3-year-old race and then to a Group 3, which is a massive leap for a horse in their first prep. And he actually, over 2200 metres, he actually pulled quite hard the whole way. Normally horses that pull hard can't finish off. And he pulled hard, but he still managed to balance up and attack the line and run fourth. So if he had been more tractable and dropped the bit, he would have been certainly running the first 3, been that much closer. So he's up to group class in Australia. He's a really exciting stayer. He's got a massive future in front of him, and still only in his first prep. And his next race he's come through well, so we're going to push on. His next race, there's an open 3-year-old race in Queensland over 2,000 metres, or we may even bring him back to Sydney for a race before he spells. So we just want to get his manners a little bit better, but big future.
Yep. And moving on to this week, we've got 2 runners running on Saturday. The first one being Ferry Me Home at Eagle Farm, race 3.
Very, very consistent horse, super consistent horse. Very rarely runs out of the placings or out of the top 5, but he's a really hard-going horse. He pulls hard, and that just costs him at the end of the races, and we're working on getting him to settle. So Saturday, it's a big step up in class for him in ratings. He's just snuck into the field. He's actually badly off with the weights, and he's dropping back to a mile. Now, the drop back to a mile I'm not too concerned with, because there'll be more speed on, which will suit him. He's got a really nice barrier, good jockey, Michael Cahill, so he'll jump, and he should be able to get a lovely trip, probably just behind the speed and in front of midfield, somewhere around there. And as long as he is off the bit, not pulling and relaxed, he can finish off really strongly. He is out of the handicap by 2.5 kilos, so it is a step up for him, but the ability is not in question. It's up to him to relax and finish hard, and if he does that, he can certainly be a threat in the race.
And the second runner is Sir Pippin at Moonee Valley on race 7.
Yeah, at Moonee Valley. So he was first up over 1400. We knew it was too short for him, and he just got his momentum held up from as he started to roll into the race. We do think he's coming out really well. He steps up to a mile, still short of his best distance, but Damien Oliver on board, barrier 2. Hopefully he can settle a little bit handier in the running. And the key to this horse, if he gets into a good rhythm, and he's a real momentum horse, so he doesn't like his momentum being checked. So as long as he can get a nice roll into the race, sort of unimpeded, he can run way better than his odds of 35 to 1. He'll improve a lot on his first up run, 1400 to a mile, and while it's still too short, and it'll be better when we get to 1800 and 2000, as long as he gets an unimpeded run, he can roll into the race nicely, and he could be, he's probably more of a place chance this weekend than a win chance, because again, he's 3.5 kilos out of the handicap, so he's badly weighted and not his best distance, but he is on the way up and a horse to follow through this prep.
But you never know what could happen. He could get first, he could get second.
That's true. That's true.
All
right, so now, Doug, we have a very special moment. We have bet of the week. So, Doug,
Yes. Yes.
As the champion selector, you are doing better of the week this week, and it's a very special selector who's picking the horse.
Yes, and the reason it's a very special selector is because my teacher is very into horse racing, and he volunteered if he wanted to do better of the week this week, and I said absolutely. So.
And is he the best teacher ever?
He probably is the best teacher.
Yeah, he's pretty cool, isn't he?
Yeah, and so Mr. McKinley, who's my teacher, Moonee Valley, race 8, and he's picked Harbour Views, and he's a very promising gelding, and he's raced 8 times before with 5 firsts and 3 places, so he's pretty much got no loss rate at all.
Yeah.
And he's an X Factor and will be very hard to beat, and being ridden by John Allen.
Wonderful, yeah, and he's, I think I looked up, he was about $2.70 fixed odds, so let's pile into him and get his odds down.
I think he's got a very good chance of winning, so I put $1 each way on him.
Yeah, and we're going to put $1 each way for you, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Is that slightly illegal? We won't tell anyone.
Okay.
Alright. Okay, Doug, do you want to talk us out of Tube Talk for the week?
Yep. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Up into third, passing Stardome. Over on the inside there is Quality Seeker and Champagne Vega is the next one from Speaking Bad. Galtero and So Dapper still the first couple. Out by about a length and a half from Stardome. Then nicely clear from the others being headed by Champagne Vega. Galtero just in front. So Dapper tries. Stardome third. Galtero's in front. The outside So Dapper. Galtero from So Dapper. Lifting later Stardome. Later Champagne Vega. Stardome's over the top late and Stardome gets up to win the first.